One of the things that we hear about is people complaining, what are you doing with your time? And, what I've come to realize is that most people do not understand things when they are saying that. And they don't have a good sense of the situation when they're saying that. And I know that seems obvious, but it's really the truth, right? So, give you examples of this, right? So often, academics, so I'm a professor of innovation. So if you don't know me, I'm Professor Dave Massac. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship, and I created this whole Reciprocity Project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out that I want to pay the favor for to help you out. So often it's raining, so it might get a little loud. Often you hear complaints from, outside of academia or outside of even within the discipline, even narrowly defined within the discipline of what you're in, of like, they'll say things like, what are you doing with your time? How come you're not being more productive? All of those kind of things. And what they often don't understand is that good things take a long time, and there's many steps that go towards doing something. And I know that this is hard to comprehend for a lot of people, but there is a lot of stuff that happens when you write a paper, for example. It is a lot of work that goes on, and I have not figured out, and I don't think I'll ever be able to figure out, like, what is the secret to do things quickly. It just takes an awful lot of work with it. And I know that seems like silly, but I mean, you need to break down like how long it actually takes to read a bunch of papers. How long does it take to write up some work on those papers? How long does it take to analyze data when there's mistakes and problems and all those kind of things? It's surprisingly a very long time, and you have to kind of realize that it just takes a long time. Another example that that I've seen just from my own experience is with building software, right? So the whole Reciprocity Project was like this, it's a sharing economy editing platform, and I get a developer to help out. I've got a development team to help out build this thing, and then various other ways. But the sort of common outside naive view that people get is you just build an app, right? Like, that's all there is to it. People don't realize that are outside of the industry just how much work goes into building an app, or thinking of what are the stages towards, executing on something. What, how do you get people to actually do something on an app? How do you make it attractive? What is, how do you get search engines to even pay attention to the thing? Like, there is a lot of steps and a lot of work that goes on that most people do not understand. They do not comprehend, and it's a very naive view. It's like some people could understand physical things, like just build a bridge, for example, and they realize, like, hey, that doesn't translate because it takes a lot of work. But they don't realize, even if you just said just build a bridge, what it takes to build the bridge, and all the various different actors that are coming on board, and sort of things that you have to worry about, and all sorts of stuff that goes on that are important, and they get frustrated with it, right? Like environmental, an environmental assessment. They may think that is like frustrating. What are they doing? They don't realize is that there's lots of steps involved in that, and everything is what I'm getting at is everything in this world is a lot more complicated than you ever assume it's going to be. And there's a lot of steps involved and many different things that you have to do. And you have to assume most things are going to be a lot more complicated than you ever imagine. And you simply just have to keep doing it. and you have to get into it before you realize, okay, what do we do here? What do we do here? There's a lot of things that you need, and really need to focus on those particular things to understand what it takes to actually build something and what it takes to put stuff together or make something. Realize that there's an awful lot that goes on, and there's not a lot of sort of magical things that happen that sort of expedite things, and it's never about just just write a paper or just build an app or whatever it is. It's never about that. There's a lot that goes on, and you have to realize and accept that all of those things go on. So that's all I wanted to talk about, is realize, when you say it, why is it taking so long, or how come you can't just do this? That's a very naive view of the world. And once you start doing it, you realize it's a heck of a lot more complicated than I ever assumed it would be. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.